This is the video notes that go with the reflection notes that are going to be put into our notebook. Let's go ahead and connect this to our prior knowledge. In elementary school, you were taught that reflections also meant flip, like flipping something over, like my hand. Okay, that's a flip, that's a reflection. Okay, sometimes people refer to it as the mirror image. Now, if it has a mirror image, then that also means it should have a line of symmetry. Okay, now you're going to be taught two ways to flip, because you can flip in different directions, you know that. Okay, you can flip things over from left to right, or top to bottom, or bottom to top, right to left, you know, diagonally. You can flip in all kinds of directions. So all of our problems for 8th grade is going to deal with reflecting over the x-axis, or, slide this down for a second, reflecting over the y-axis. So we're going to do two examples with reflecting over the x-axis, two examples for reflecting over the y-axis. Okay, and just like when we're doing transformations, let's go to example 1 right here. Just like when I'm doing transformations, we have to be told what we're doing. So we're going to reflect over the x-axis. We are going to have a pre-image. I like triangles for reflections because it's really easy to see them in the picture. Okay, now what I want you to do is pause the video and go to your graph paper, write down your pre-image and your triangle with your labels. Now that you've got that graphed, let's talk about what it means to reflect over the x-axis. Okay, so I'm going to take a highlighter and I'm going to highlight my x-axis right here. Okay, I'm going to slide this graph up a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. Okay, when I flip this triangle or reflect this triangle, I'm going to use this highlighted x-axis as the line of symmetry. Okay, so that means I'm going to be just like my hand, I'm going to be flipping it from the top of the graph paper over to the other side of that line of symmetry and putting it on the bottom. Okay, if I'm flipping over the x-axis, we're either going to flip from top to bottom or bottom to top. Since this started in the top, I'm going to flip to the bottom. Okay, but now I have to be exact about that. It's got to be exactly symmetrical in the mirror image. So how we're going to do that is we're going to think about how many spaces away from our axis our points are. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. Look at point A right here. Point A is one space or one block above the x-axis. So that means I've got to put A prime one block below the x-axis. Okay, if I look over here at B, we'll do the same thing. B is 2 blocks away above it. So I need to be 2 blocks below it. So 1, 2 right here. And there's B prime. And then if I look at C prime up here, that's supposed to be, doesn't look like a C right there. Sorry about that. Now, here is C, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above. I'm going to go straight down below it 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put a dot. And I'm going to label that C prime. I'm going to connect them. Didn't do a really great job getting that line straight right there. But when I look at this, do I see symmetrical? I do. It's almost like looking at butterfly wings. This is the butterfly body part. Let me show it this way. Okay? So if I look at it this way, it's almost like I see the body of the butterfly, and here's the wings. They're symmetrical. Okay? Now, I only got one thing left to do here, and that is to write down my new ordered pairs. So I'm going to write them right here. A prime, B prime, and C prime. Okay? A prime is at 1, -1, 1. B prime right here is at 3, negative 2. C prime is here at 2, negative 5. And I'm done with what I needed to do, because what I needed to do was take that pre-image, graph it, reflect it, and then write down my new ordered pairs. So if you need to pause the video right here, press pause, finish copying it down, and then start it, and we'll go to number 2. Okay. Right here is example number 2. Number 2 also says we're going to reflect over the x-axis. Here is my pre-image, and I have taken the time right here to go ahead and graph it. Okay, so pause the video if you need to and graph. Now, I'm going to reflect over the x-axis. So I'm going to highlight that x-axis so it's my line of symmetry again. Now this time when I flip, I'm going to be flipping from the bottom up to the top. I'm going to go from bottom to top. Okay, but I'm still going to keep it the same distance away. Okay, so if I look at W right here, W is 2 blocks below, so W prime has got to be 2 blocks above. V right over here is 1, 2, 3 blocks below, so V prime's got to be 3 blocks above. 1, 2, 3. And U down here is at 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks below, so I need to go 4 above. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, when I connect them, I'm going to ask myself, do I see a mirror image? A mirror image, okay? And I do. So now the only thing I've got left to do is write down my ordered pairs. W prime, V prime, and U prime. W prime is over here at negative 1, 2, 3, and then up positive 2, so negative 3, 2. V prime right here is at positive 1 and positive 1, 2, 3. And then U is going to be at 0 because you don't go right or left any, and then you're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's at the point 0, 4. Okay, again, pause if you need to and copy this down. Now, example 3 and 4 are going to switch. This time we're going to be reflecting over the y-axis. And I have triangle EFG that I've for my pre-image, and I've already graphed it. So again, pause your video right here and let's copy all this down and get it graphed, and then start again. Now, this time when I take my highlighter, because I'm reflecting over the y-axis, I'm going to highlight the y-axis. That is going to be my line of symmetry. Okay? I highlight the axis, it tells me I'm reflecting over. Okay? Now, I'm going to do the same thing, but this time instead of going top to bottom, or bottom to top, I'm going to be going right to left, left to right. I'm going to be going sideways with it because it has to go to the other side of my y-axis. Okay? Now, let's look at point E right here. E is 1 block away from my highlighted axis, so E prime has to be over here, 1 block away. I'm going to go ahead and do G because it's right above it. See, G is right here and it's also 1 block away, so it means on this side it's got to be 1 block away. Now, F is actually 1, 2, 3 blocks away. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 blocks away right here. Okay, And I'm going to ask myself, does it look like a mirror image? And it does. Almost, you see how, I think you see the symmetry better when it's going side to side instead of top to bottom. Okay. Now, only thing I got left to do is list out my ordered pairs. And I'm going to just list them right here. So I've got E prime, F prime, and G prime. Now, E prime is at 1, 1, 2, 3. F prime is over here at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's at 3, 4. And then G prime up here is at 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's at 1, 4. And I'm done. Again, pause your video right here. Make sure you've got everything copied down correctly. Okay. Example 4 is also reflecting over the y-axis. And I have my pre-image PQR, which I have already graphed right here. So pause your video and copy this down. Now, I'm reflecting over the y-axis, so this time again, I'm going to take my highlighter and I'm going to highlight the y-axis. Now, this one is a little more challenging because what I notice is I've got stuff on both sides of my line of symmetry. I've even got a point that is on the line of symmetry, okay? But I know I got to flip from one side to the other, okay? I'm flipping from one side to the other. So with that said, what I know is that when I flip Q, because it's on the left, it's going to be over here on the right. I know that P, since it starts out on the right side, is going to end up over here on the left side. Okay? So let's just start doing that. Okay? So if I count Q right here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away. So that means then I got to go 4 the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to list that point as Q prime. Okay. Now, P, I'm going to do the same thing, but it's 2 spaces away on the right side. So that means I got to go 2 spaces away on the left side. Let's see if I squeeze that in right there. That's P prime. Now, R. What about R? Well, R is 0 spaces away from the line of symmetry, so that means I'm moving it 0 spaces or 0 blocks. And what that tells me is that R and R prime are exactly the same point, okay? And if I connect those 3 points now, I do see symmetry. The 2 triangles overlap each other, but you can see the symmetry in there with them, okay? So what I'm going to do right here is list out my ordered pairs. Now, P prime, which is right here now, is at -2, +1. Q prime is over here, and that's at 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 4 zeros since I don't go up or down with Q, it's on the axis. And then R prime, we've already decided is the same thing as R, so I can just cheat and come right here and copy down R's values. And I'm done. Okay? After you take your notes, make sure you put them into your notebook. And then you'll go to Canvas and you will find your assignments to work on with your directions.